I'm Amy Cherry. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota, here to wow ya. Palm Coast is considering changes to trash and recycling services. You'll see a survey along with next month's utility bill that seeks to gauge your preferences. It will ask things like whether you'd be okay with a once-a-week recycling pickup instead of twice a week, or if you'd be willing to pay up to $5 extra to keep curbside recycling. City Manager Matt Morton says the possible changes are aimed at saving costs.
We're expecting an increase for two reasons. The industrial rate indices and the CPI indices that waste haulers use continue to increase like a lot of business cost drivers. We've had no adjustment to either one of those in our contracts for multiple years.
But the bigger cost driver here, he says, is recycling.
There was a point in time in the not-too-distant past where recycling a lot of commodities markets was profitable. At this point, recycling is not profitable as a commodities market. That's really driven mainly by the China one-sword policy that went into effect about 2 years ago, where they've stopped accepting about 95% of the world's recyclable materials. We're at a point in America, unfortunately, at this moment in time where it's cheaper to make new products than it is to recycle existing products.
You'll also be able to give your input at 2 community meetings before council makes any decisions in May. In Flagler Beach, they're also making changes to recycling services. Interim City Manager Rick McFadden.
We're going to go to 1 day on recycling. The only 2 things that we're going to recycle is cardboard and aluminum. Unfortunately, there's no place to take anything else.
He says part of the problem is
our businesses, the bartenders, instead of emptying the plastic cups and rinsing them, they throw it with whatever's left over in that cup into the recycle bin. It's destroyed the recycling, so it has to go to the trash.
You'll also no longer be able to recycle glass in Flagler Beach.
A convicted felon is heading back to prison on gun and drug charges. 26-year-old Joshua LeMaster was sentenced to 7 years in state prison. Flagler County Sheriff's deputies nabbed LeMaster following multiple covert operations that led to a raid on his room at the Econo Lodge in Palm Coast in October of last year. Prior to that arrest, LeMaster was handcuffed in August of that same year for a shooting at a business in Palm Coast. He was already a convicted felon prohibited from possessing a gun. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
I hope while he is in prison that he learns some life lessons, and when he is released, he does not make the same bad decisions that he has made for his entire life, at least since age 18. Our community will be a little bit safer with him gone, but I hope he learns his lesson and can turn his life around.
From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Rich Carroll.
In spite of the challenges that 2020 posed to the ability to fundraise, one local nonprofit was still able to continue their efforts of helping community organizations. John Harking has the details.
Dina McKinley is Secretary-Treasurer of the Rotary Club of Palm Coast and says when COVID hit last March, almost all of their fundraising plans went out the window.
Of course, we all were taken off guard in March when the pandemic hit, and we had to cancel 2 of our regular Wednesday evening meetings. We were meeting at the Hilton Garden Inn, and then we had to regroup because, just like everyone else, we had to figure out a way to keep going. So we switched to Zoom, and in the process, of course, of the extending of the restrictions and lockdowns, we had to cancel one of our major fundraising events, which we do every April, which is the Helping Hands Charity Poker Run. That is one of our supporting fundraisers. And then we had another fundraiser as the year progressed that we would normally run in September, which is a sit-down dinner and award ceremony. Also had to cancel that. So pretty early on, probably by summer, we were talking about ways we could do some fundraising that wouldn't be face-to-face, person-to-person, because, of course, that was really out of the question at the time.
Out of that realization was born the club's December online holiday auction. Those funds, along with member contributions, enabled the organization to make donations this month to 2 programs. Christmas Come True provides a personalized Christmas experience for challenged Flagler County families, as well as providing for them throughout the year with emergency funding, furniture, and services. The other program was Flagler Technical College's adult education programs, specifically GED scholarships for participants in the Open Door Reentry and Recovery Ministry, a prison diversion program that serves recovering alcohol and substance abusers in Flagler County. From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm John Arthur.
We know that about 1,000 businesses here in Flagler County got a small business grant.
But when will they receive them? Flagler County Emergency Management Director Jonathan Lord helped Tourism Director Amy Lukasik with the grants.
For the last couple 100,000 and change, we're hoping in the next couple of weeks we finally received all of the funds from the state of Florida. That was kind of our biggest delay, was receiving the funds from the state of Florida The state has finally paid the county for those funds, so now it allows us and the county to be able to start issuing those checks.
Lord said they should be able to get the funds to the businesses in a couple of weeks. To listen to the Business Report, where this interview came from, listen on Saturdays at 10 a.m. right here on WNZF. Tomorrow, is there more money and are there fewer businesses? From the WNZF Newsroom, I'm Deb Albertson.
Sheriff Rick Staley in the Flagler County Sheriff's Office is inviting you to participate in the first ever FCSO Dare to Care Challenge to celebrate National Random Acts of Kindness Day today. Here are a few ideas to get you started. Send a positive text message to 5 people right now. Buy a coffee for your coworker. Your efforts could gain you a prize. Here's Sheriff Rick Staley.
Send us what you have done. Send us photos, and we will post the best ones on our official social media, Facebook pages, and you could win a Sheriff's Challenge coin.
Sheriff Staley also says the past year has been tough on all of us, but I've learned that focusing on the needs of others is a good distraction from some of the bitter truths we are currently experiencing as we forge ahead through 2021. We must remain hopeful. Winners will also be selected today. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Amy Cherry.